Taoiseach, I was involved in organising, along with the Save Our Forests, Save Our Lands campaign protest last week around the debate on Coillte and this frankly outrageous deal with Gresham House to buy up huge amounts of land and forestry. And the demands of that protest were strongly echoed by the Citizens' Assembly on Biodiversity, where they have expressed grave concern about the Gresham House deal. They have said, rightly, that the Forestry Act and the mandate of Coillte need to be radically changed so that Coillte stops acting as a commercial outfit, doing forestry that's damaging biodiversity, and instead starts to operate for the common good and for the environmental good. I mean, the truth is the Irish forestry model is actually destroying biodiversity. That's the actuality of the situation. And that will be exacerbated by the Gresham House deal or any other such similar deals. So I would ask you to reconsider the government's position that you can't back out, to use the phrase, of the deal with Gresham House. You must back out of this deal because it will contribute to further destruction of biodiversity and it will move us further down the wrong road when we need to listen to what the Citizens' Assembly are saying about forestry in this country.
Thanks very much, Deputies, for your contributions. I anticipate the Government will consider the question of the next Citizens' Assemblies in the very near future. Once that decision has been taken, we'll promptly bring forward a proposal to the House for debate and resolution. Subject to the timely passage of the resolution, my expectation is the next Citizens' Assemblies could commence as early as April or May and should then be in a position to report back to the House before the end of the year. The Government is committed to fulfilling the Programme for Government commitment to establish new Citizens' Assemblies on matters relating to drug use and the future of education. As I said, we're very keen to have it up and running before the summer recess. I can confirm that the work of the Justice Committee will inform the terms of reference, as will earlier work carried out by former Justice Garrett Sheehan's group and the Justice Committee previously under David Stanton's chairmanship. And it will look at issues in the round, and decriminalisation can be part of that. The two Citizens' Assemblies in 2022 were run in parallel, so that is possible. However, the clear advice from the chairpersons of both assemblies, as well as the independent evaluators, is that future assemblies should be run sequentially rather than concurrently. That's the best way to give each assembly the necessary space and time to undertake its deliberations without undue constraints. In response to Deputy's questions, we are of course going to listen to what the Citizens' Assemblies have to say. I think it's fair to say we did in relation to marriage equality, on the 8th Amendment, on the climate law, but listening to what they say doesn't necessarily mean adopting every recommendation, lock, stock and barrel. And in relation to the Irish Strategic Forestry Fund, I do think there is some misunderstanding or misinformation here. There's no state-owned land involved, no public land that's being privatised. It is already privately owned land, and most of it is under forest already. And we do need forests for lots of reasons. Yes, of course, we need them as a climate sink. We need them for biodiversity. We need them for leisure. But we do also need forests for timber. And that's where spruce and conifers are the most useful, because we want to move away from using concrete and steel in favour of timber, and that's why there is room for different types of forestry. Oh, sorry, just on the issue in relation to the North Inner City Drugs and Alcohol Task Force, I will take that up with Minister Naughton. She's new in her role, but I'll make sure she's aware of it and that progress is made on it.